Hello everyone. Um, I'm in Hanoi, Vietnam right now. On my last video blog, I was in Hong Kong, and I traveled through the south of China to Guizhou, where the Asian City Games are being held, the Asian Games, and I was there for the opening ceremonies. I never went to them, but I saw the fireworks and the light show. It was pretty cool. It was fun. Uh, Not many people speak English though. It was tough to get by, but I caught a train to Nanning, and in Nanning no one speaks English. I saw tens of thousands of people on the street, and I didn't see another white person. And I spent the night there, and then I caught the bus to Hanoi, where I am now. On the bus, I saw two other girls that were white, and immediately we started talking to each other because we were both in the same situation. We hadn't seen another foreigner for a long time. And when we tried to cross the Chinese border, uh, everything was fine except, or I got through fine, and then I looked back at them, and they had the wrong visa. Um, they got their visa in Shenzhen, which is only applicable for Shenzhen. I guess I haven't really looked into it, but they weren't getting through, and the bus wanted to leave, and there was they were pretty upset, obviously, because they're being held at the Chinese border, and there's nowhere to go. They would have to. The border guards were telling them they would have to go back to Shenzhen, which is like a 5-hour bus and then a 12-hour train. And night was falling, and there were no taxis, and this was the last bus. And the bus company. I was on the Vietnam side, and they said, "Okay, let's go. Let's get on the bus." Saying, "Okay, we're gonna have to leave those girls behind." And these girls were on the verge of tears. And so basically, I decided to stay with them, and it was kind of scary because the border guard asked me, he's like, "Are you sure you're with them?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, they have just broken the law. Do you really want to be with them?" And because this guy spoke English, even though he's Chinese, and it was kind of scary for a sec, but I said yeah. And then he forced me to give over my passport, and basically he gave us a choice: either we could pay 1,000 yen fine for each one of those girls, or we could go back to Shenzhen. And we didn't have he wanted us to pay 1,000 yuan. We didn't have 1,000 yuan. Maybe in total, including the money that I had, we had maybe 500, and we needed 2,000. But they had some euros, and I managed to take the money and get it converted to yuan from people that were passing through the border. I would show them the exchange rate on my iPod, and they would give me like 50 cents on the dollar. I had to use the Chinese border guard as a translator. It took about an hour. Finally, we had enough money, and then we gave him the money and our passports, and he said he'd be right back. He's like, "I'll be right back," and then it took him like 2 hours, and we thought for sure he had just taken our money and our passports. But anyways, he came back, and he finally let us through, just before the border closed. I was kind of scared at this point because it was nighttime. They were about to close the border. There's no cities in either direction for a long time. There's lots of mosquitoes out. It was the malaria zone. I did not have any malaria pills, and it was just I only had a shorts and t-shirts. Anyways, we made it through to the Vietnam side, and we caught like this guy gave us a taxi ride into 3 hours into Hanoi for like $50 US, which is, we didn't really have any option. the bus only cost maybe $15 to get us from Nanning to um, Hanoi. So it was overpriced, but what can you do? It was better than walking these dark streets in Vietnam. Anyways, in Hanoi, I've been riding scooters around the city, which is really dangerous because Vietnam is notorious for their scooters because they don't stop in intersections. They just come from they go full speed into intersections, and you just weave around people and honk horns. And it's been really fun. It's been really dangerous, but me and my friend Kuba took a ride. Like it was maybe about 50 kilometers out of town, and you really got to see the real Hanoi, or the real Vietnam. We went to this small village. It was pretty fun. It's not something I would have done early on in my travels, but now it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Everyone's, no one looks at you here because if you're white, because there's lots of foreigners around. But once you hop on the scooter, people really start looking at you because there are no foreigners riding these scooters. And it's not hard to see why, because you can just enjoy yourself here sitting on the side of the road watching the traffic, because it's crazy how it works. You move in packs of like 30 scooters, and then other scooters will just go in the complete opposite direction of you. I have some of it on film. Actually, Kuba has it on film, so I'm just waiting for him to send it to me. But it'll make a pretty good blog post. Anyway, so I've had a lot of crazy adventures here, but now that time has kind of passed, they don't really seem like that big of a deal to me anymore. So the Chinese border experience was it doesn't seem that crazy, but it was a pretty heart-pounding experience. And riding scooters around Hanoi, I've done it for 4 days now, so I'm used to it. But when I first did it, it was like, oh, this is insane. I can't wait to tell everyone about this. But if you look up some videos on YouTube about scooters in Hanoi or Vietnam or Ho Chi Minh, it's pretty crazy stuff. I'm sure I look pretty funny out there with everyone else, considering I'm so much taller than everyone. But I should be heading south maybe tomorrow or the next day. So hopefully I'll do another video blog sooner than I did this one. But I'm doing good. No need to worry. And yeah. Take care, everyone. Bye.